Did you guys know that $200,000 a year isn't a lot of money?
Now, I know if you're out of college, you're looking at this range and you're like, oh, wow, it's a lot. It's not. You get stuck in this range.
Yeah, if you get stuck in this range, 150 to 200K a year, which less than 6% of Americans make, by the way, you're actually just poor. You're scum. You're like a piece of gum in a Mark's parking lot that hasn't fully dried out yet that gets stuck in the waffle sole of my Vans slip-on. That's what I think of people who make 200 grand a year, a pathetic 4 grand a week. This video gets more annoying the longer it goes on. I'm not going to play the whole thing here. He goes on to quote a guy named Robert Sterling, who says apparently that people who make this kind of an income make enough to live an expensive lifestyle, but not enough to really feel successful, which is the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. He also goes on to say that people making this kind of money, they aren't managing anybody. And if they want to take that extra fancy vacation, they need more.
If you want that extra, if you're a little bitter, if you're a little like, oh man, I wish I had that extra fancy vacation. I wish I had that nicer car. I wish I did this. I wish I did that. You're not going to get it with that range.
What are you talking about? It's crazy because you hit 100K and you're like, oh, this isn't what I thought it was. It's not. The only way that's true is if you're drowning in debt or you're terrible with money. I guess that's the same thing, right? Look at this comment. 300K plus for a single person, 500K plus for a couple, and you're really living. Enough to max retirement accounts, invest, save, travel, and splurge when you want. You get the nice to haves that make life. Make life what? I like how this person is trying to explain how being rich is awesome, as if people don't know. But you don't need to be rich to do any of these things. 200K after tax won't get you a house in major cities. After tax. Oh my God. Also, 300K for a single person, $500,000 for a couple. Do you know how much money $500,000 is? And how few people make that much annually? And why stop at $500,000? Because according to James Austin at Imperial Wealth Planning, even being a millionaire isn't enough. Why? Well, because of housing, healthcare, and education, obviously. Can't possibly afford a house on a measly $1 million budget. Get real. There's a lot of people who think like this. Just ask every person on the anti-work subreddit making $26 an hour upset that they can't afford a 6-bedroom house on 10 acres of land within walking distance to the beach because of inflation or something. It's so horribly out of touch, and it annoys me when people pretend that you need to live some crazy expensive lifestyle to be happy. Let's look at this article from CNBC titled "Why $100,000 Income No Longer Buys the American Dream in Most Places." Okay, I'm curious why somebody making twice as much money as me can't afford the lifestyle I currently live. Let's see what's going on here. The American dream, which for many people involves some combination of owning a home, getting married, having kids, and making enough after expenses to save for retirement and spend on leisure, is becoming increasingly expensive. Completely true. It is getting increasingly expensive to live, a problem that is only going to get worse due to reasons. Groceries are expensive, gas is expensive, housing is expensive, rent is expensive, cars are expensive, insurance is expensive, daycare, utilities, internet, everything. I get it. 100 grand a year, 2 grand a week, by the way, does not have the same buying power that it had just a few years ago. But if you think for a single second that making that kind of an income can't afford you what this article and many like it call the American dream, you're just bad with money. You're just bad with money. That's all. You have a spending problem. All of these people have spending problems. You want to know how I know? Because if the American dream really is just as simple as owning a home, going on vacation once or twice a year, getting married, being able to put away a little bit for retirement or for a rainy day, then I got all that shit, baby. I'm living the dream, and I don't make anywhere near this much money. Granted, I don't live in a super high cost of living area like Los Angeles or New York City or, I don't know, anywhere in the Pacific Northwest. But first of all, most people don't. And second of all, I'm not exactly in the cut either. I'm in a pretty nice spot. I have a friend who makes fucking no money, but lives in Salt Lake and makes it work so that he can ski. And I guarantee he's happier than this dork. I still can't get over this. $500,000 to live with a partner? You're out of your fucking mind, bro. Do you know what kind of a house you can buy with $500,000? Do you know the lifestyle you can live with $500,000? Get the bag. By all means, get the bag. I have nothing against the bag, but don't think that you need the bag to be happy. You don't. And you don't need the bag to be able to live a good lifestyle. You don't. My stepsister moved to Los Angeles a couple of years ago to go to school, and she was just working a regular job, didn't have a lot of money in the bank, and she made it work just fine. She was able to get an apartment, have a life, have a car, and she was happy. And it worked out fine because she was smart with her money. She was happy living that LA life, even though everybody online will tell you that it's impossible unless you're rich. I can't even begin to wrap my mind around how disconnected from reality you have to be to think that making 100 grand a year in the United States as an individual isn't enough to live the quote unquote American dream. If you think you can't buy a house or go on vacations on that income, you're just objectively wrong. I think what a lot of this comes down to is two things mainly. The first one is an insane sense of entitlement. And the second one is just piss poor financial responsibility. Again, and I want to make this abundantly clear, I understand that everything is getting super expensive. As I make this video right now, our economy in America is getting thrown in the fucking shredder. I mean, I can't even buy a fucking Switch 2 because of Trump's tariffs, and the water heaters that I install on a daily basis just got 12% more expensive overnight. But even then, people making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year acting like they need more, like they're struggling, like they're having such a hard time, when almost every single working class American gets by with way less, fucking way less, is insulting and out of touch, and it drives me nuts, as I'm sure you can tell if you made it to this point in the video. I'm not saying that the cost of living hasn't risen substantially over the past couple of years. I'm not saying that wages haven't kept up with how expensive everything is getting. But I bought a nice house in a nice area in 2022 with a $45,000 salary, and it was easy as fuck. I had a little money put away for a small down payment, I had good credit history, and I didn't spend beyond my means. I need to see a breakdown of exactly how somebody making six figures is struggling, because if I was making 10 grand a month, call it 6 or 7 after taxes, I would be fucking bawling. My life would be so easy. My life was easy when I got that job making $45,000 at the chemical plant, because I was coming from doing DoorDash full time for a couple of years, so that income was cake. Anyways, thanks for watching this video, and for all of you who watched my last video on how much I hate shitty men and decided to subscribe to the channel, you're a real one. Thank you. I'll see you next Sunday when I have more to talk about. Remember, reality is whatever you want it to be. Bye.